What's going on, everybody? We are live at the All-American Reptile and Plant Expo in Castle Rock, Colorado. It's Saturday, April 27th, 2024, and I'm live with, Steven from Leviathan Snakes, and, of course, our good friends at Redline Shipping, compliments of Robin and the team. If you're not shipping with Redline, seriously, what are you waiting for? You got to try it out, right? Steven, coming all the way from where, South Carolina to Denver? Just feel like you just jet set in and hang out?
Just an impromptu thing.
Right. Just sitting around Friday afternoon, like, just hop a flight, right?
So we flew in yesterday. We flew in on Friday, and it was honestly really smooth. There was like nobody at the Atlanta airport, so we got right through security, come over here, direct flight. The flight got delayed just a little bit, but not bad.
You had a nonstop?
Yeah, direct from Atlanta to Denver. So it was really, really nice. And the only thing with it was right as we were going to land, there was like a lot of turbulence. And normally I'm fine with it, but man, I was getting nauseous. So it's like if I was getting nauseous, I know that was rough.
Yeah. How'd Courtney and the little one do?
She honestly, Ellie slept. So we didn't sit together because I'm super cheap and I you can't choose your seat.
Just get in wherever.
Yeah.
And Courtney was like, yes, I don't have to sit next to him.
That is exactly
right.
How did you know that that's what you're saying?
I experience and empathize with these things,
But yeah, so Ellie was really good. She slept the whole flight, and then we were able to just get off the flight, drive over from Denver to Castle Rock. It was like 30, 45 minutes drive-ish. Really, really easy, really great location. And because we're in South Carolina, it's like actually snowing right now, which is really nice and really cool.
I don't know about really nice. It was not supposed to be snow. It's like whiteout snow.
It is.
There.
It's like blizzard.
And I'm not from a place with a huge amount of elevation changes. So when you see a weather forecast that says 4 inches or 2 feet of snow, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm going to
4 inches of rain or 2 feet of snow.
Yeah. If I'm going off of like, I don't know, if I had like a math test and I'm like, the answer is either 4 or 300, somewhere in between there. Technically, I'm right.
Yeah, right. That's what we're feeling. So the drive-in today, totally snowing, and not to be overly dramatic, not much sticking, but it's white out there.
It's coming down.
Yeah, so you got the springtime slush and all of that. Happily, though, I don't see it affecting.
It's packed. It is insane. The parking lot is filled to the brim. There's so many people. You're having to like squeeze past people, which I feel like is always a good sign you got top shape.
Yeah, and not that I wish this on anybody, but they are even having to tow some cars because of illegal parking and all of that, which is a good sign for the amount of attendance. Hey, before we get in too far, audience, give me an idea of how the audio is in a live setting like this in an open room. Can you hear us? What do we need to do?
Yeah, can we talk louder?
So let us know on that because we're going to do a few of these today. I got Troy coming up, who is the show promoter from Best Dressed Balls. We'll feature Robin. We'll find out what he's got cooking and what he feels. This is his local hometown show, so he's pretty excited. He lives right up the road in Castle Rock. I'm looking at him right here. He's doing business nonstop, just the way he does. And then we'll have some other folks on this afternoon. I think I got Jessica from Hair Hollow Farms will be on, and the whole Back Rack podcast, and we'll be filming all sorts of content. So I'd love to hear how the audio is. No complaints. Usually people would say, hey, we can't hear you, so we'll jump in. So, all right, the rest of the first impressions. The turnout's good. What do you see in the room? What makes you go, oh, this is great, this is standard, and then, like, not that we're going to call out any liabilities, but any concerns?
So, all right, as you come into the venue, parking lot's right in front of the venue. You walk from the parking lot inside, really, really nice building. All of the buildings around here look really nice. Like nothing looks run down. And as you come in and you get into the show, so it is the All-American Reptile and Plant Expo. And I didn't realize, I'm not a plant guy, not that I'm against plants, but I didn't realize how much of an impact having the plant vendors has on the entire vibe of the show. Because as you walk in and you're greeted by this beautiful plant, it feels like you're walking into a jungle. So you have plant booths, and then you have reptiles, and you have more plant booths. And it's like the plant booths add to decoration for the show, and it makes it really, really immersive and really cool. One of the nicest looking shows I've ever seen.
And just anecdotally, I don't know, a lot more plants in people's hands are walking by than reptiles. So, and now, of course, I think that has a price component to it. You can impulse buy a plant.
Yeah, pretty easy.
That's pretty fine. you might not want to impulse buy, the retic that we're looking at across the aisle over here. But it does add to it, and it adds. And we're both camera guys. It was really great to like walk through the plant displays as well, and they're scattered throughout. So it does add a nice kind of polished
atmosphere.
It does not. Truth be told, some reptile shows can have a little bit of a flea market feel. Yep. This doesn't have it. It's not open air. It is at a fairgrounds, but it's really one of the nicest barns you'll ever be in. It really looks like
it looks like a convention hall.
Yeah, very nice convention hall. So anyhow, top-notch scores on that. What about the vendor, the animal selection, the mix of vendors? We're talking a little bit about the mix of vendors at breakfast this morning.
Yeah. So I was hanging out with Troy and Andrew yesterday, and we were just talking about how many vendors are there. And I think there's like 90-something different vendors at the show today. And I think that they said there's around 20 to 25 ball python vendors. So if you're looking at it, again, rough numbers, about 20 to 20% of the vendors are ball pythons, which means that there is a amazing spread of different species, different vendors. There's some absolutely incredible, beautiful leaf-tail geckos that blew my mind. I didn't realize it got so big.
I've never seen them in person, and they're cool, man. Their body is, it's not snake-like, but it's almost like stick-like. It's cool. So I'm seeing retics, we're seeing ball pythons, Pangeas here, Redline, of course, is here. Husbandry Pro has come in as well. So, people are clearly taking the show seriously. Some of the ball python breeders, of course, Troy from Best Dressed Balls has got a booth set up. Joe, JSA Exotics is here. I saw
Josh Lumberg, ball python shed.
Yeah, yep. Josh has got some heavy hitters. I actually got to get over there and film a little bit later today. Danny Schumann is here. So there's some really great name sort of vendors, and it's kind of neat because it's that Midwest corridor, it seems like. So not a whole lot of super East Coast, but I'm not seeing a lot of, say, the California West Coast crew either. So it's an interesting mix. I'm seeing a lot of people that I actually usually see on my own circuit now. So it's kind of neat.
The vibe of it, I would say, just between the caliber of the vendors that are here and just the whole vibe of the show, is imagine like a Tinley, Daytona, that type of show, but just not as big of a venue. So it's like you have the same caliber as that, but just, again, a little bit more intimate, a little bit smaller. And I think that with that, it actually makes the whole show, in a way, feel like more prestigious, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does feel serious. And I know that, I know we could be a little bit snobby about this kind of stuff. It doesn't feel petting zoo-ish.
Yes, it does not.
It doesn't feel that. I don't know how they pulled that off. It doesn't feel that, though. It feels like a serious room. And I don't have a good feel. As a vendor, I usually have a good feel of if there's money in the room and if there's transactions happening. So is it a spectator room or is it a business room? And I don't have a good feel on that yet. We're going to have to pick some vendors' brains a little bit later on that. VIP yesterday was interesting. I say only. Really successful. About 150 VIP tickets sold in, I don't know, what is this room? 100 by 50?
I have no idea.
No, it's got to be longer than that. That's 100 yards, maybe. Anyway, it's a big room. So with only 150 people in here, it was a really cool kind of mix of behind the scenes and vendor concessions. I do know the VIP buyers yesterday. They came. They were serious. I saw money moving and good money moving.
Yeah,
that is the biggest snake I've ever been this close to.
Yeah,
right over there.
Yeah, we're right across from Wildfire Retics, and they have this beautiful animal out right now, and it's drawing a big crowd over there. So.
It is now officially petting zoo with a retic. It's massive there. Very cool. I see a young girl that's getting kind of her first experience probably with a retic. And it looks good, man. That is a big snake, though. That is definitely a big snake.
Yeah, no, I know you guys can't see it because it's literally on the other side of the camera, but it is massive crowd right in front of this camera, right on the other side of the camera right now.
Quick shout out to the live audience joining. We appreciate you guys. We got Jamie, Robbie at Argen, Ryan, a Minnesota guy. Euphoria from across the pond, man. We got we're going worldwide, and then James is in the Patreon JNS, and Argent is one of the sponsors on the Proper Royals channel as well. So thank you very, very much, all the sponsors. All right, Stephen. anything you've seen that is tempting you to make not necessarily a bad decision, but a significant decision. How about that?
So Josh Lundberg from the Ball Python Shed, he has over there this absolutely incredible, beautiful ultramel puzzle female. She is list price right now $15,000, which is a lot, but I really, really like the puzzle project. I really, really like how puzzle works with Sunset. I love how ultramel works with Sunset, and I think that the Sunset ultramel puzzle is going to be one of the best combos. I'm really excited about it. So that's the one where I'm kind of like, oh man.
Yeah,
like,
I know Josh usually bends with Bob, right? Is Josh from your neck of the woods too, relatively, or not?
No, so he's Midwest. He's Midwest. I think
Midwest
he's Kansas.
Well. Okay.
So, but yeah.
So you couldn't just be tempted one day to drive over.
No,
okay, so it's a little tougher temptation. All right.
No, the one thing that kind of holds me off on it is I know that we have friends who are working a very similar project, and they're pairing for triple heads this year. So it's kind of like, all right, do you get the visual, or not Sunset, ultramel puzzle female, grow her up, and then try to make your own triple heads, or do you just wait until you can buy the triple heads?
Right.
So that's most likely I probably won't end up pulling the trigger, but man, that girl, it's amazing.
I got to go see it. Stay tuned on the channel. I'm sure on Instagram or YouTube we'll have it on there. What's up, Ross? Another Minnesotan and somebody that supported me a lot. So, Ross, your girl's doing great. I'm feeding her, and she's doing well in the rack there for you. So, I saw, now it already sold, so it lowered the temptation. I saw a super redhead leopard clown.
Oh, that's wild.
And
that's awesome.
It was fantastic. And it was in shed, and it still was like this beautiful, like, red clay color.
Do you know who had produced it?
That's JSA. JSA Exotics.
That's awesome.
And maybe it's JSA. I always screw it up. JSA, Joe Atchison. It might be Reptiles or Exotics.
He's never going to forgive you now. Yeah.
It's okay. I do it all the time. So, you know, it causes people to go Google it, and then he gets clicks. It works. It's our little.
Yeah.
And it was either head for something or possible head on top. So really powerful animal. It was a female, super redhead leopard clown. Again, it was in shed, but it just had this beautiful red clay color. I mean, when it's shed out, it's gotta look something like here. So that was a very, very cool animal. On the lower end, there's actually a beautiful yellow belly confusion 66% het clown.
All right.
Which you all know me, I prefer not to roll the dice, but it's priced where I'm like, I got that itch, man. Like if you know,
and you can always test it. I mean, you don't have to wait.
If a certain sale were to come through today on Morph Market, I might have some cash flow to play with. If you guys want to check it out. So that was the cool stuff that I saw. Getting back to the show itself.
Yep.
Seeing what you've seen, and of course you're completely East Coast. I'm the Midwest, but still by vehicle it'd be a 12-hour drive.
Yeah. Seeing
what you see, and they're doing another show in September on a rating of say 1 to 10, 1 being least likely, 10 most likely. How likely is it in your mind that you consider venue here and to put you on the spot if you were to grade that and maybe talk through that?
Just going off of what I've seen so far, if we had the animals, if it like made sense for us, I would jump at the chance, because one, it is exclusive, because they are limiting. They don't want the show to turn into just a ball python show, and we're ball python breeders. So the fact that there's only like 20, 25 ball python breeders allowed in the show, and it's such a good show already, like if we had the animals and it made sense for us and we got invited for it, I would jump at that chance.
Okay, so 7 and 8.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I would give it an 8. I give it an 8. I put like 10 would be like if we had a chance to vend like October Tinley Park in ARBC, like that would be like Super Bowl level. I don't think that, at least this is the very first show right now, I don't think it's like national level show, but this is easily a regional level show. And I definitely think that if it keeps growing on how it is right now, if it keeps improving, I think it probably will be a national level show.
I think so too. And I think they got the right guys behind it. And Troy and Nick will be over to talk about it a little bit more. And those are the guys behind it. Troy from Best Dressed Balls and Nick from Sloan Reptiles.
Yep.
So those are the right guys behind it. So a little context for me, if I lived here in Denver, absolutely. I would do it every time. It'd be a no-brainer. If I was within 2-3 hours, I absolutely would do it. In September, I should have the inventory to make it worthwhile. So I'd be interested in doing it, but it's 2 days out. It's going to be 2 days back if I'm driving alone. The show is 3 days long. You know, you're talking at that point 5 to 6 days out and away from the animals.
So $2,000 in expenses just between hotels and all that stuff.
Definitely $1,500 just to walk in the door. I don't know what they're charging on tables either, which at the moment isn't my business. We got Carlos walking by. I got to catch up with you, man. We're doing a little live right here, man. So I would say it's probably unlikely at this moment. However, I could be convinced, and I do happen to know a shipping company, if I were to share a table or there were a scenario where I could ship the snakes out, and I honestly...
You bring all your displays. And
the displays are the real challenge because shipping the displays is going to be cost prohibitive. If I could get out here and not drive, I would pay for the flight and the hotel. It's the time away from home, away from my animals. I call it the home tax. My wife taking care of our son all alone. That's an expensive tax, man. So it's probably not imminently likely. It's a cool show, though. I would do it if it weren't for the logistics.
It is because it is far away from us. So that's always a challenge.
Well, like I say, if say just hypothetically crazy talk, if somebody were to see this video and go, if Nick were to go, well, Adam, I got 2 displays. Would you be interested in the table? I probably would. That would lower my overhead. That would lower the home tax. I could ship out, 40 nice animals. Or if, say, Joe, or, I got to give a shout out to Mark and Krista at MBK Pythons as well. They're also from Minneapolis and they're here. If they were coming out and I said, hey, guys, can I throw some displays in your trailer? And how can I help? I would want to bring some value to them. How can I help? Or maybe I buy their table. I don't know what. But if I could throw my equipment in with them, fly in and fly the animals in to Robin. Now I'm starting to even sort it out right now. Suddenly I get more and more interested. So I would give myself probably realistically a 6 right now. But as it goes on and builds, 7, 8, 9 would be great. And I don't know Nick. I did get to meet him. I don't know him. But Troy I know very well, or reasonably well. Who else would I rather support in the industry? I mean, I could not bet against those guys for anything. So I think it'll continue to do well. And I think it's a really, really great start. There's one thing we didn't talk about is the interesting mix of people. So you're from the East Coast. I'm Midwest right now. But I'm seeing vendors from all over. And then it's a little bit surreal. Troy and Nick have hired several breeders that you would recognize as staff security that are helping put on the show. So they're putting the show on really from the eyes of vendors and breeders is what I think is what I'm seeing, which I'll be curious to talk to people after the show that vended and get their impressions of that as well, see if that's how they felt.
There's like Andrew from Redwood Reptiles is here. Pesco is here. He's shooting stuff with Redline. There's a ton of people here.
Jerome is here. So US Arc flew in last night. They're here. So it's gotten the attention of the industry, and it's amazing to me that in this market space there hasn't been a consistently successful show. I think that they have that opportunity. I looked last night. It's a 3 million person metro population without a steady show presence. Hello. That's why they chose Denver. That makes sense. So, all right, Stephen, last goals, last thoughts for what's on your agenda. Oh, excuse me, before we do that, you have an agenda behind the scenes you've been working on. Tell us what you can or what you want to share of that and when we can expect to see some of that.
Okay, so we, last year before, I don't remember, time blurs together and all that stuff, but we had released the 15 minutes of Ball Python documentary where we essentially documented Chris Eaton of Snakes and the Fat Man, 15 minutes of Lane's segment, how it got created, the kind of journey through it, and then ultimately the story, plotline of it culminated in when Courtney and I had won the 3rd year of 15 minutes of it. So I really, really like videography. I really like cinema. So one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to keep doing documentary type stuff like that. So one of the things that we're working on right now is we're working on a documentary reptile breeder miniseries. So with this, we are following various different people, prominent people within the reptile hobby around, as we are pretty much trying to focus on something important to them. And one of the people that we initially we reached out to and agreed that we were going to do a documentary episode with was Troy Schroeder of Best Dressed Balls. And then when they started doing the show, we're like, that's perfect.
That's the one. That's the baby.
Yeah,
right?
that's amazing. That works perfectly for it. So we came out here. We've been shooting footage with them, following them around. We shot a podcast last night that Troy forgot to record 15 minutes into the podcast. Throwing that out there for you, Troy.
5-0, not 1-5. 5-0 minutes into the podcast. 50.
Yeah. So that's what we're out here doing. And beyond, you always talk about like shows. It's not, the value isn't always from the sales, because we didn't bring animals.
Didn't bring a thing.
Like that. There is connections that you get. There's networking opportunities. And by doing this, we were able to become better friends with Nick, with Jerome. We were talking with Cusco. We're gonna do a documentary episode with Cusco from it. And it's, again, those connections that you can make at in-person shows like this are so valuable that I love social media, I love marketing, but you cannot replace them. You have to be in person in some situations to really develop those deep, meaningful connections and network within the hobby.
The value of the face-to-face connections. I'm so fortunate that of my sponsors, 2 of them are here, and I got to spending that time with those people that take care of you and your customers and reaching out to the customers is so important. So I just want to give a quick thanks to all the sponsors. We won't go through the whole pitches, but these people keep these sorts of things going, make it possible to get away for a weekend out to Denver. So I want to say thanks to the sponsors. But yeah, don't underestimate the value of getting face-to-face with your customers and potential customers. So thanks to all the sponsors there, as always. What's on your agenda for the rest of the afternoon today here at the show?
All right, so we're going to keep hanging out at the show, roaming around, looking at animals, see if I get tempted to buy anything. And in addition, keep shooting some different footage for the documentary that we're going to be working on. We're going to potentially release it maybe 2025 or so, like the miniseries.
Okay.
And then after the show's done, we're going out to dinner with 14 people. So I don't even know how all
yeah,
this. So.
yeah. We'll do the group dinner. And actually, it's very cool. We'll be who we got? Trevor from Ball Labs arranged it. Jessica's coming to join us. Adam from Benevolent Reptiles will be there. Myself, Steven.
Jason from JT.
That's right. Jason's coming out. So, and I might even do a little double duty of I had another invite.
Same.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hop a little bit.
I completely understand that.
We'll see how it goes. Trying to keep a lot of people happy, and I'm fortunate to be in that situation where I need to keep various folks happy. So that's where it's at. Guys, thanks for joining. That is Steven from Leviathan Snakes. You know where to go see him. There's Leviathan Snakes everywhere on all the socials. And stick around today. I got Troy and Nick coming up at 3 p.m. No, that's a lie. 1:30 p.m. 1 hour from now, 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And then I'll be doing some content with Husbandry Pro. I don't know if we'll be live. And then I'll be live with Robin. I think we're going to aim for 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So an hour and 2.5 hours away with Robin. Thanks, everybody. And leave any feedback on the quality. I think we're kicking internet, and I'm hoping that the audio is good. I didn't bring any lapel stuff, but it's that live feel. So thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon later this afternoon, and I'll be here all weekend. Cheers, everybody.
All right. Yes.